I'm always happy to see Wendell out of bed before noon.
It was tough, let me tell you.
I know. I sleep that late every day.
I'm physically here. Physically here answering emails as we speak.
Good morning.
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 Hey, Anthony.
How's it going?
All is well.
That's good to hear.
How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good.
What's your beverage of choice this morning?
I am currently representing Bobby in this situation.
What, a Monster?
Yes, or I should say it's a beer. Just don't look at it.
You know, it's an interesting day when the beer is more acceptable than the energy drink.
No, seriously. No kidding.
Well, Leaps and Bounds is here this morning. Happy to see them here.
Good morning.
Don't see them in person. How you doing?
Where am I coming from? Good morning.
Is it too hot to take the kids out on the Is it too hot to take the kids out on the horses?
It is a little too warm, so we've come inside,
Yeah.
luckily.
We'll get started in a couple of minutes.
Good morning, guys. This is Mike Karashi.
Morning,
Hi,
Mike.
Mike.
Hey, Mike.
How are you?
I think we're all doing pretty well here. How about yourself?
Excellent, Stephanie. Thank you. I'm going to go on
Great.
mute.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
Morning, everyone. JP here.
Hi, JP.
Hey, JP.
Morning.
Hi, JP.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
All right, well, it is 10 o'clock, so it is time for us to get started. First off, I want to thank everyone for being on this call. I'm Don Williamson. I'm the 2020 Chairman of the Board of the Corona Chamber of Commerce. We have a lot to get to today, as usual. And besides thanking you and being grateful for all of you for being on the phone, we also want to thank today's sponsor, On-Site Computing. On-Site Computing manages IT service, IT support. They provide tech solutions for companies all across the North America. And we've used them at the Chamber of Commerce, and we want to thank them for being our sponsor today. If anybody on this call is interested in being a sponsor, please contact the Corona Chamber of Commerce office. Remember, we ask questions at the end of our speakers' presentations, and those questions are to be asked through the chat room. We go to Stephanie, and she'll forward the questions to the speaker because we get multiple of the same questions, and that way we can pare them down and not waste time with repeats and that sort of thing. Not everybody is going to have a chat. Not everyone on this call will be able to see the chats, but nonetheless, that is how we ask questions. The Corona Chamber of Commerce continues to be busy, doing all we can. We have our staff on hand every day, serving our members and doing what we can. And one of the things we do is this Zoom call. Tomorrow's going to be our Good Morning Corona that I'm going to talk about later, but I just want to mention that right now. We have some really good speakers today. And first off, one of the most valuable things we do in this chamber, and I say this every week, is our advocacy. And I would like to introduce the chairman of our Legislative Action Committee from Robertson's Ready Mix, Anthony Edwards.
Thank you, Don. Can everyone hear me well?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. All right. Well, as Don had mentioned, I am Anthony Edwards. We have been working diligently, especially right now with all the different little
Hello?
Froze, Anthony.
Uh-oh.
I think he's on
You
mute.
are-
Okay.
You're on mute, sir.
Your
Okay,
brilliance
Anthony.
blew up the Zoom.
How about now?
There he is.
I got it.
Okay.
There you go.
Anyways, what the chamber does, which is completely different than most other chambers, is we really put an emphasis on legislative outreach and getting in contact with the people that make a difference, right? The senators, the congressmen, all the way up to the county level, state level, sometimes even the federal level if it needs to get that far. And one of the incredible people that have been helping us for many years is Jeff Gibson. He's with Occidental Communications. He's been our advocate and in-house historian for quite some time. And he, has been helping us with a lot of the bills that have been coming down and really affecting the smaller businesses, also the bigger businesses in Corona and the community alike. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jeff. And Jeff, it's all you.
Thank you, Anthony. Everybody can hear me? So I appreciate the introduction and everyone's support over the years. We are in the last 2 weeks of the legislature, and so there's a number of different bills that are going through. Even though the legislature has cut down on the number of bills, what they've done is they've kept all of the ideas active in potential gut amend, which we talked about last week, which is a bill. In fact, first bill we're going to discuss, AB 1552, originally started life as a bill on Native American education, and then August 17th became a bill essentially rewriting business continuation insurance in the state of California. And so it had gone through almost every single hurdle to get to the very end of session, which we're at right now, and became a totally new thing, but it didn't have to go back to the first step. So it's technically been through almost every single committee hearing, and it's awaiting a vote in committee right now. And so having people like you be active in this process, go up to Sacramento when we can, go to Washington, D.C., join larger coalitions. This year, the Chamber, in the midst of the crisis, has worked with a number of different, much larger organizations because there is so much flying around the Capitol, not in traditional bills. And most of the things that are going to, you're going to notice in your workers' compensation bills and your business continuation insurance policies are going to be coming out of the gut and amend and or the bills that were heavily amended at the last second by things that the legislature had declared dead 6-9 months ago or a year ago or longer. So getting into that, AB 1552, which was the first one that we spoke about, would retroactively rewrite all business continuation insurance in the state of California to make any case of COVID-19 a rebuttable presumption. And ultimately, it would be the up to the employer to you to prove that any case of COVID-19 that came to any of your customers, any of your employees, any interruption in your business as a result of an emergency you'd have to go through that as a presumption, and the presumption would ultimately be that your business caused the infection. And then, of course, you would have to rebut how you did or did not cause an infection. Currently, business continuation insurance covered under emergency orders and a number of different items. That bill is awaiting vote, awaiting one of its final votes. And so we're very active in opposing that. The second bill that we're talking about today is the workers' compensation hike. It is AB 196 that creates a non-rebuttable presumption for essential businesses. And so any business that has been open during this crisis is considered an essential business. That all COVID-19 infection of anybody that is in your workplace. So if no matter where they caught it, no matter what they told a contact tracer, for instance, it would become a non-rebuttable presumption that they caught C-19 as a result of being in your workplace. And so that would hit your workers' compensation insurance. Obviously, there's a great deal of concern about that. Again, the bill's been heavily amended in the last part of the committee process. It is currently in appropriations in a position called the suspense file, which is one of the things that we really work to keep bills like this on, because it literally holds it in suspense. And now, unfortunately, at any point, for any reason, the chairman of the Appropriations Committee in the State Senate can decide to move a bill off the suspense file. So we're really down to one vote here. And literally when I mean one vote, I mean one vote of the chairman to put this back into play. So we're working very hard with a statewide coalition, a larger statewide coalition that you can be a part of if you'd like. We'll get into that in a second. And then finally, AB 1159 is in the same position as AB 196, but it is much, much broader. And AB 1159 creates the opportunity for employees to claim injuries for working at businesses who have employees who had COVID. So say that you are closed and that you have an outbreak of COVID amongst your employees while you are closed. when you reopen, even though those employees may not be participating in the business anymore, your business would be responsible for any infectious disease that an employee could get. They can now claim it as an injury under workers' compensation, under your workers' compensation policy. So in the past, there haven't been many filings, of course, for people getting the flu against your workers' compensation insurance. That's one of the things that normally would occur during this, but because we are under emergency orders, if the bill were law today, any infectious disease under the calculations of the bill could go into into an unrebuttable presumption against your business, which generates a claim. And you can see why we came out and are actively working against these bills. So that's AB 1552, which is awaiting a policy committee vote that should be coming shortly, and AB 196 and AB 1159, which are on the suspense folder, or in the suspense folder in the Appropriations Committee. There's all sorts of different, very technical terms, and in our experience here, we've worked to eliminate the use of technical terms, to try and get down to precisely what you need to know, not because we don't think those technical terms are important, but because your time is important, and we want to be able to pay a lot of attention to that time. If you'd like to join the larger state coalition against these bills, I will again put the Association of Western Employers.com, all one word, /join. There's no cost to that whatsoever. You can join the coalition to defeat all three of these bills, and we will keep you updated on that progress. And in fact, by clicking the link to join, you actually get the update that we just went over here. So the coalition of large employers across the state, many of whom are Cal Chamber members and members of large organizations that we work with. So very happy to take any questions that you may have or any updates from there.
Thank you very much, Jeff. Stephanie, do we have any questions for Jeff?
Yes, we have several actually, so thank you so much. One of them is, a couple months back, there was discussion of workers' comp claims related to COVID not affecting the business as far as like the claims against the business for workers' comp. Is that not true based on what you just said?
Yes, that is not true. In fact, the only course that the legislature has considered is to make the individual employers responsible for a workers' compensation claim. The only organization or legislative body in the United States that's looked at protecting businesses is a blanket provision against liability that has been looked at by Congress, installed in the House. It was included in the U.S. Senate version of the third and fourth aid packages. The President of the United States implemented most of the fourth aid package because negotiations stalled with the majority in the House, led by Nancy Pelosi. And the concern there was that there was about $2 trillion in non-related COVID-19 emergency spending that the Congress, that the House wanted to include in a number of different provisions. And so the President of the U.S. Senate dropped out of negotiations on that. But yes, as of right now, no. If there would be a claim, it would come directly to the business.
Wow. Okay, thank you. You had mentioned earlier again about the coalition that you've told us about the last few weeks, and I know you're going to put that in the chat, but other than joining the coalition, what can local businesses do? Are there letters that can be written, something that, you know, sometimes there's like a one-click website to send a message to your congressperson or your representatives?
That's the, yeah, and that's the code. So what we did is a lot of different times, we're never sure of how the data is going to be used, and for people who are doing one-click things. And so what we ended up doing was is aligning ourselves with the Association of Western Employers. I've done a lot of work with them in the past. They've sponsored, if you remember, when we had a couple of these meetings, the Legislative Action Committee meetings at Eagle Glen, they were the ones that arranged for that. They've never charged anything to the chamber. And so what we've done is that's the one click. So if you join, your name goes on the opposition to these bills and goes right, and that gets communicated to the authors. Right now, 2 weeks out, with the state capitol largely closed, you can't have meetings with the state legislators. A number of their staff have to work from home. So, and most of those staff that are working from home are the ones that would read letters anyway. And it's taking 2 to 3 weeks for physical letters to get to the state capitol. And so, because they have to go through a quarantine period before they can come in. So it's extremely difficult, and that's why we've kind of gone out of our way to create this.
Wonderful. Thank you. Last question is in regards to what we're going to discuss in the next couple weeks, next week and the week after. You said that there's only 2 weeks left of the legislative session. Are there other bills or things that should be on our radar right now?
Oh, absolutely. There are approximately 275 bills in each house that are under consideration. And out of those, I would estimate there are about 1,100 different major potential amendments that have been approved by the Legislative Council in the form of bills that were killed. And every single one of them is still alive. Yeah, this is the most confusing time that I've ever experienced. We've gone through September 11th. We've gone through a number of different periods. We've gone through a major budget debacle. But yeah, the legislature's decided to conduct itself in such a way, and I'm not talking about our legislators personally, but the way the legislature has decided to go about this process of conducting itself in this last couple of months is not in your best interest. You are not the person, you are the person who is going, if you are an employer, you're going to be the person that's going to be paying. But it was not conducted with you in mind. But yes, I'll put the latest update from the coalition in the PDF if I can, in the chat, along with the link, and you can go to that and we'll keep you updated on what happened.
Well, thank you, Jeff. That concludes the questions that were entered into the chat. Really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Jeff, thank you so much. You know, I was in business for a long time, and this is just mind-boggling what's going on today. And I really appreciate you coming in here every week and updating us and giving us some kind of idea and direction. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Just want to remind everybody that you need to register for this business briefing that we do every week. As you just heard, just hearing Jeff is really worth your time, in my opinion, to really know what's coming, what the potentials are here in California. Heads up, always. Our next guest is Wendell Bugtai, who is a legislative assistant who handles the land use and land use policies for our Riverside County 2nd District for our County Supervisor, Karen Spiegel. Please welcome Wendell.
Thank you, Don. Appreciate it. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
All right. I've never seen that photo before, so thank you for that photo. First and foremost, just want to give a quick county update on a couple of things that we're working on in the county. With regards to COVID, as of August 18th, which is yesterday, the Riverside County has confirmed cases of 48,200. Of that, 25,500 have recovered, and we have 913 deaths so far. On July 24th, the county did launch a Masks Are Medicine campaign. The goal is to provide 10 million masks, which would be distributed through schools, faith-based organizations, senior services, food banks, and nonprofits throughout the county. For more information, I am going to add a link to that. So if you do know any on our chat box, so if you do know anyone that needs a mask or are looking for masks, please click that link and you can get more information. Also, this year is the year of the census. So every 10 years, we conduct a census throughout the country. And what's important about that is the census, when it's filled out, actually funnels money directly to states and counties with each census being filled out. We have about 65% right now that have filled out in Riverside County with regards to the census. The last day to fill out the census is September 30th, tentatively right now. For each census that's filled out, it's about $2,000 to Riverside County for each census. So it's really important that we get the word out so we can get more funding for our area and our county and our district. With that, I will also include a link in our chat box as well with regards to that census. The third thing I want to talk about is on August 12th, the Riverside County Transportation Commission did award a construction contract for State Route 91 Corridor Operations Project, also known as 91 COP. That contract will actually add a 2-mile stretch of general purpose lane in the westbound direction of the 91 from Green River to State Route 241. That construction project is going to start in October of this year, and we're expected to complete that project in late 2021. I'll have a link to that agenda item for that project. That project's about $18.8 million that was awarded to the winning bidder. So that's kind of what's going on in 2nd District. The other thing I want to mention is, the supervisor's office, Supervisor Spiegel, does have a monthly newsletter that goes out to give an update on all things District 2 related. So I will add a link to that as well if you're interested in subscribing to that and getting more info on what's going on in the 2nd District. So with that, that's kind of our update with regards to the county and Supervisor Spiegel.
Thank you, Wendell. Stephanie? You have...
Yes, thank you.
Do we have questions?
Sure.
Yes. Wendell, what other transportation projects are in the pipeline right now for our district?
Yeah, sure. So we've got a lot of projects that are going on in the 2nd District specifically. Aside from the project that I mentioned off the 91, we are working on the Temescal Canyon widening project. That's the stretch between Tom Barnes and El Cerrito. That's being designed right now, and we're working on property acquisition so that we can make that stretch from 1 lane into 2 lanes. We've also got right now going on as we speak the El Cerrito repaving rehabilitation project. There's the community of El Cerrito. We're working on basically repaving those areas within that community because it's badly needed as far as paving in that area. We're also working with the city of Norco and the city of Eastvale and our transportation and parks department with regards to the Hamner Bridge widening. The supervisor just approved at the last board meeting in coordination with our parks department as part of that widening, a pedestrian lane on the east side of the project so that there's a connectivity not just for vehicles but also for pedestrians. And then last but not least, we have a fast track. The fast track between the 1591 and the 60 which is ongoing, should be completed by the end of this year. So we should see that up and running by the end of this year. So those are kind of the transportation projects that we're working on.
Very exciting. Thank you. We have one last question. Do you have an estimate on when the county can reopen again?
It's really going to be up to the state on that end. The masks are medicine campaign that we're working on is part of that agenda in order to get Riverside County up and running again. I do know that our county CEO has provided an application to the state in order for us to get going and have the state review it for us to reopen. I don't know if anyone saw the article in the Press Enterprise that we're looking to try to get open by at least the first of the 3 phases by Memorial Day, or excuse me, Labor Day. But again, as a county, we can only do so much, and we're really at the mercy of the state at this point to get the county up and running again.
Thank you, Wendell. That concludes the questions.
Thank you.
Okay, Wendell, thank you very much. And Wendell, last week we had Ryan Cortez from City Corona. These are the men and women who work for our elected officials that are really on the front lines, and to hear from them and get the scoop directly from what's happening is really valuable. And Wendell, really thank you today for taking your time to come and join us. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Next, I would like to introduce to you Dale Sarver from SCORE. SCORE stands for Service Corps of Retired Executives. Powered by Small Business Administration, it's the largest network of volunteer business mentors providing free answers to your business questions. It also provides free interactive workshops and a vast library of templates, tools, and resources. Mentors like Dale here provide advice on every aspect of business and have been instrumental in helping businesses get started, navigate the business world, and when necessary, close successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dale Sarver.
Thank you, Don. I hope everyone can hear me. I just wanted to kind of talk about the SCORE journey through this pandemic so far. We, as you probably know, we're affiliated with the Small Business Administration. So at the beginning of this, there was a lot of panic and confusion, and we were hosting twice a day online workshops with the SBA to kind of help people learn about all the disaster assistance that was available in those webinars. And then we're doing a lot of mentoring with different businesses to help them to get that assistance. The primary 2 things were the PPP and the EIDL loans. And in the beginning, it was just a lot of confusion and panic. There was confusion within the SBA and within the banking industry and everyone else, because it took a while till it all got sorted out as far as how it all worked. But as we kind of worked our way through, we finally got things going, and a lot of businesses applied for that help. And one of the problems was that companies would apply, and then there'd go in a dark hole for about 2 or 3 weeks. Then all of a sudden money would show up, and in the meantime, everyone's kind of panicked because they didn't know if their application went in or not. The other thing was, as we went through, we kind of learned a lot about, especially with the PPP, which banks were good and which ones were bad. And in general, it turned out that the big banks were bad and the community banks were good, because they were much more effective and helpful. And also the online banks, like places like PayPal and Square and Cabbage and those kind of places were much more helpful as well. So over time, we kind of went from a lot of panic and confusion to where people were suddenly getting their money. And then the question was, now that I have the money, how can I spend it? How can I spend it where it fits within all the rules and the regulations that they have? So I spent a lot of time, as have other SCORE people, just talking to businesses to kind of help them through that, and then also help them through, how you get things back online once you get through all that. And it's been kind of a hectic journey, but I think we've, been able to provide some help. If you go to the next slide, the SCORE did the next one, please. SCORE did a survey nationwide to just kind of see how different businesses were affected by the virus. And you can see that some businesses are actually doing a lot better, and then other businesses are not doing as well. When I looked at the one thing I don't see on there is home improvement. I think home improvement projects are doing better as far as buying things at Home Depot and all that, but it kind of goes along, I think, with what you really expect just from general observation. So I just put it up because I think it's interesting to see how different businesses were affected, and with all this happening and people kind of changing their habits based on, being locked in their house or having to change their business. So a lot of businesses have been really affected negatively, and others have done a lot better. If you go to the next slide. So so as I said early on, everyone was interested in getting disaster assistance and figuring out how to survive. And then once they got the money, figuring out how to spend it and how to adjust their workforce. One of the issues a lot of employers had was that because of the enhanced unemployment insurance, initially they laid employees off, and then because they were getting an extra $600 a week, it was hard to get them to come back to work. So a lot of people had to kind of live with that, find other people to work for them, and coax employees back to work or hire replacements. So that was a big issue that a lot of people had. Also, people had to make major adjustments to their business, find new ways to sell their product, new ways to work with their customers. Surprisingly, a lot of businesses decided to expand by buying additional equipment or kind of going into new types of businesses, and so some businesses were very creative as far as having new products or just having new ways to do business. And so if you go to the next slide, I'll talk about some examples of that. A lot of people, changed to doing things, just doing a lot more things online. For example, there's a boutique, all of a sudden their sales went down, so they started, focusing more on their online sales. I had a guy that was a wood shop, had a single product, which was like gazebos, and so he looked for other products to make, and then also doing job shop work for contractors to kind of get through it. There was one lady who did kind of like some online counseling for kids, and to help them with issues they had with school, and she converted over to selling some books online and for creating a website where she could do a lot of the same stuff she did online. A lot of people went online, like there was one company selling herbal supplements, more or less person to person, converted to selling that online. I had a number of people that, started selling more things on Amazon. One guy started doing independent delivery services because he had some cars and trucks. There was one person that decided was in the filming industry, and it was a lot of that was done in LA. So he created a studio out in the desert to get people, because it was very difficult to do business in LA, and got people with projects to move it out there where it was much easier to do business. A therapist that started to do mobile therapy. A lot of people started using virtual assistants just to help them get by, because they weren't able to bring people into their office. One person was a chemist, developed a spray cleaner to kill viruses, and he's in the process of getting that to where he can sell it. And the application for that really is just to wipe the back of your phone to kill any viruses that get on your cell phone when you carry it around. So in general, it was just a lot of more online stuff. I talked to other people, a couple people that had medical practices, and they, in order to lower overhead, they were converting from a single practice to a group practice where they could share overhead and share office space with other people in similar with similar practices. And then another guy also decided to buy a building rather than renting a space, to buy a building and for other general medical practice buildings, so he could rent out some of the spots as well as have his own spot in there, because he could lower his costs. So generally, I guess people were looking for ways to kind of work around the constraints that were passed on them by using different creative means, like doing much more things virtually, doing things online, finding ways to reduce overhead and things like that. So it's been hectic, as I'm sure everyone that has a business knows, and it's been challenging. And I think the key is really to kind of look for creative ways to accommodate all the things that are happening. So I guess that's it. Any questions?
Thank you, Dale. Yes, we have a question that was posed. How can a business meet with you? And can you verify that this is free and not just for startup, but existing businesses as well?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't give you the SCORE commercial. So we're a nationwide organization, and we get a little bit of funding from the SBA. There's about 10,000 volunteers across the country. There are about 50 of us here in the Inland Empire. So we're a nonprofit, and then we're divided up into local chapters. So I'm part of the Inland Empire chapter, and we provide free mentoring, and we have a lot of tools on our website that are free. The only thing we do charge, or some of the workshops we charge for, but it's a very nominal fee, $20. But right now, primarily what we're doing is mentoring, and we're doing, in normal times, we do a lot of face-to-face mentoring, but right now, we're doing everything virtual. We're doing telephone mentoring, telephone and email mentoring, and video mentoring. So if anyone wants any mentoring or any help, all they have to do is they can either go to inlandempire.score.org, the website, or they can contact me. I had my contact information on the front, my phone number, and I don't know if you want to just share that with everyone. But my number is 714-376-0411, and my email is metalman1108@gmail.com. And just get in touch with me, and either myself or I can set you up with another SCORE mentor. Typically, I just set up times, when we talk on the phone and discuss whatever your issue is, and try to help you. And a lot of times it's just a matter of having someone, to bounce ideas off. Someone that's totally removed from your company to, maybe put another set of eyes on what you're doing and help you work on issues. And then other times there's a lot of resources I can find for you and help you find or provide for you. So that's, I guess our biggest challenge is letting people know who we are and what we do, and getting them to get in touch with us.
Awesome. Thank you, Dale. That concludes the questions.
Okay. Dale, thank you very much. I really appreciate you being here today and explaining to us about the help that you offer and what's available to our members. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
And our final speaker today is Natasha Johnson from the Navy Federal Credit Union. Natasha is representing the 2020 Executive Leadership Roundtable class, and I will turn the time over to Natasha.
Awesome. Thank you, Don. Can you hear me good?
Can.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. I'm really excited, even virtually, to speak about this year's 2019 and 2020 ELR Group's community project. Many of you know, or maybe some of you don't know, that the Executive Leadership Roundtable picks a community project as a part of the program every year. And this year we had big goals, big dreams, and a big project. So we are thrilled to talk about it. And although COVID kind of got a little bit, it took us off track a tad, we have been committed to continuing this community project. And we are going to finish it out. While our graduation is this Friday, we have not finished all of the project description, because we are going to continue on even after graduation. That's how committed we are to the project. So a little bit about it. We did select the Bob Hope USO March Air Force Base. That's what we're calling. We're calling more than a peanut butter and jelly. And so here's what it is. The USO, as you may have some information, they strengthen our military service by helping our members. This specific location, on average, sees over 13,000 deployed or coming in troops. This is kind of their first connection back into the States, or their last connection from the States when deploying out. And this affiliation and nonprofit, what they do is they kind of take care of all the needs. They give them their first meal back. They take care of any immediate needs, like a you know, a shower kit, or they even just let them charge their phone so they can make that first phone call to their families. So the Bob Hope USO March Air Force Base Deployment Center opened in March of 2018. And each year they help more and more and more troops. So this is, again, for deployment, redeployment, or travel for any kind of rotations. They also serve as the travel part for 29 Palms and for Fort Irwin. So it's the biggest deployment center anywhere, but for our region, it's huge. So with lots of volunteers, typically they serve a peanut butter and jelly sandwich when our troops come in. And our group really decided that this is what protects our freedoms as Americans, and that our troops, while they love that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, they deserve more than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So there was born the title for our project. The project was to raise $70,000 to upgrade their commercial equipment so that they could offer a hot meal. This included refrigeration, freezer, some upgrades to a very dilapidated kitchen they currently had. It also included putting some Wi-Fi cabling into the deployment center so they could connect to family members. We really looked at what we could do, and we wanted to have them start off and be successful long-term. So we were able to add some money into that fundraising effort to get the meal to about $3 a troop when they get in, so they can have that hot meal. But that it's more than just their, you know, like I keep saying, their peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So we, funding for an entire year of hot meals was included in our project. And then the last thing we included in this project description, is something really cool. It's called the Legacy One Project. And what it is it's a book that's selected by our active duty member, and they're videotaped as they read it to their children. And it is sent to their children when they go on deployment with a book and a note from their parent that is serving our country. So it was to help encourage that program and keep that sustainable throughout the year. So we're really excited about all the things we're going to do for our military active duty members here in Riverside County. But this is the first community service project for the ELR group that has gone a little bit outside of, you know, just the reach of the Corona city limits. This doesn't just affect our active duty members in Corona, it affects our entire region, and it's a very big project. So we've continued to promote outside of Corona because that's who is serving us. We want to serve where they serve. So we are going to continue some of the fundraising efforts coming up. We have some events, and I'm going to put in the chat to everyone the actual website, because we will be, there it is, we will be donating a check to the USO on Friday for just under $40,000. We've done great things despite COVID, but we still have more to go. So if this sounds like something that your business would appreciate supporting, or you know someone that this would be right up their alley, we ask that you forward on this link. We're committed to get to that 70,000, however long that takes us, so that we can finish all the components of this project. The refrigerators and freezers, here's an update, they're in. They look great. The changes and the procedures at the deployment center have changed due to COVID. So it's so amazing that we were able to finish that, because they used to be able to put out large party equipment to serve the troops in the military, active duty military, and they no longer can do that. Everything has to be individual. So those freezers and refrigerators were able to house all the individual drinks and all the things they need to do going forward for COVID operations. So talk about timing, it was perfect. But again, really excited. More than a peanut butter and jelly, our ELR project continues to give. I'm excited to be involved with a great group of our leaders in the community who really put their heart and soul into this project, reach out to all their contacts, and we're continuing to do that. So that's a plug also for the next group of ELR. I would be remiss to say that I know applications are being submitted for the Executive Leadership Roundtable coming up. And I will tell you that the connections and the networking and just the understanding of how our community and how the community is intertwined in the fabric of the community, it's unmatched. So if you're considering it, you should do it. I think that's all I have. If Dawn, is there any questions you have for me?
Stephanie, do you have any questions for Natasha?
No questions at this time, but thank you for that update and letting us know that you guys are over halfway to your goal, and we know that you can definitely meet it and beat it.
Awesome. I put the link in the chat if you guys want to check it out. That would be great.
Give Big Corona, everyone. So that's where you go to donate to this most worthwhile project. And I look forward to seeing all of your class tomorrow, Natasha, or Friday at the Good Morning Corona out at Silver Lakes.
Right.
For your graduation. Finally, we're to the point where I'm going to invite the chair-elect for the Corona Chamber of Commerce, Kim Mabon, to join me as we go through just a few brief announcements. Kim?
Thank you, Don. Just a reminder to those
Kim, Kim, but let me just thank On-Site Computing. I'm sorry I missed it. You just saw the slide. On-Site Computing was our sponsor today. If any of you are interested, again, please contact the Chamber, and we're very grateful to On-Site Computing. I'm sorry. Thank you. Go ahead, Kim.
Thanks, Don. Just a reminder for those of you who are not yet a member, or if you know of a neighboring business that would find Chamber membership beneficial, please connect with Robert Yanez to become part of our Chamber family. We do service a regional landscape. If you refer a member, you'll get a free advertisement in the Corona Business News.
Our next Good Morning Corona, as I just mentioned to Natasha, will be this Friday, August the 21st, and it will be like we did last month. It was really fun, an outdoor drive-in theme. We will be recognizing the Executive Leadership Roundtable and all the participants that raised the money, the $40,000 that Natasha just explained to us. So come on out and let's show them our appreciation for their good work in that project. Tickets are available. You can attend both virtually or in person. You can sit in your car. There's a big screen and you can hear everything over your radio. There's a promo code that you can use to get $5 off of your ticket if you use it today only. So there's the link up there on your screen, and I look forward to seeing you out there on Friday. Kim?
Our next Coffee with the Entrepreneur will be with Greg and Bonnie Yoder from Crumbles Cookies. The Chamber is in partnership with the City of Corona to provide this program. Monday, September 14th via Zoom. The event is free to attend, so register today. Past programs are available to watch on the Chamber's YouTube channel as well as Facebook.
Thank you. Restaurant recovery webinar. This is an industry that's really been hurt recently, and on Tuesday, September the 15th at 9 in the morning, we're going to have a webinar. It's free to attend. We'll cover safety guidelines, financing and marketing, customer experience, and much more. It's co-hosted by the City of the Corona, the Inland Empire Small Business Development Center, and Riverside County Environmental Health Department. And you share with a friend, and you can register at mychamber.org. Kim?
Thank you to all the businesses shown on the screen now for sponsoring the Corona Golf Classic, which has been rescheduled for Thursday, October 29th. Sponsorships with golfers are still available. If you don't have a foursome, don't worry, we'll invite a frontline healthcare worker to golf with you on your team. Sponsorship is a great way to get your business recognized, build some relationships, and have some fun. Opportunity tickets are available now. Help us include more of our local healthcare frontline heroes. You'll get a chance to win some great prizes, and our local heroes will get to enjoy an all-inclusive day of golfing, food, gifts, drinks, and fun.
Thank you. The Women's Leadership Conference will be on Thursday, September 24th. Get your tickets now. Right now, they're just $45 per person, and that's going to end on August 31st. The topics are going to include preventing team burnout, speaking up for success, pivoting in the pandemic, and selling with the servant art. We'll have a physicians panel, and we're accepting anonymous questions now. You can send on those on over to Stephanie at the Chamber. This is a 100% virtual conference, so we're going to try some new fun stuff that's going to engage the people that'll be online. So if you don't want to, it's something you don't want to miss, you want to experience it, men are welcome, so get your tickets today.
Register now for Paul Webb's very popular workshop on Thursday, September 3rd. Paul is a licensed NLP master trainer with over 43 years of sales training experience. The September's workshop topic is how to handle customer attitudes, skepticism, indifference, and objections. If you missed any of the past workshops, don't worry. He will do a quick review before going on to new material.
Next week is our transportation update. It's going to be the main topic. Sign up now so you'll be sure to get the email updates and get the link to log in. Remember, you need to register each week. You can see the link right there on the screen. And again, we want to thank you for being here today. And your attendance just makes us flourish and continue to put these type of calls on. So again, thank you for everyone being here. Hope to see you Friday at Good Morning Corona and next week on the call. Thank you very much. Stay cool.
Thanks, Don.